So welcome to the My Two Tips podcast. My name is Elise, and this is episode 26, I think. Yeah, episode 26. Alright, so I have a few things to show off today, actually. I've been wearing this a lot lately, which is my Gideon shawl, which I think I've shown and talked about before, so I'm just going to put it back on because it's quite big and lovely. I really do enjoy it. Yeah, a little bit like that. Yeah. Alright, so this is the My Two Tips podcast. It is October 27th. Wow, what? That's crazy. So Halloween is coming up, which is super exciting. Not that we go out for Halloween or anything, but we definitely have pumpkins to carve, and I'm so excited. Last time we carved pumpkins together, I think we've carved pumpkins together like the first 3 years that we were together, and then just timing didn't necessarily work out for the rest, but it's kind of a little tradition of ours, which I love so much. Excuse me. We have, yeah, I don't know, kind of scatterbrained today. This morning I met up with a friend and worked on a project, but I've got some finished stuff to show you since last time. So I've got a hat and 2 pairs of socks. The hat is the Tread hat from the Within book, and this one is written by Shannon Cook. I knit it out of Knitting a Love Song Area Worsted in the Nebulous colorway. It's a lovely hat pattern. I also put on the fur pom-pom, but oh, I love it. Love it. So I knit it a little bit, bobby pin. There we go. A little bit less slouchy than what Shannon has the pattern written up for. Only because I like it like that, pretty much is what it comes down to, right? Yeah, I find that a heavier weighted hat, especially with the pom-pom, even though these like faux fur pom-poms are pretty light, I find they can tend to like weigh down the hat and have it like hang off of your head. I like my hats to be a little bit more beanie style, but not like beanie style where they're like cinching your head in your hair. That's not good. And I just attached the pom-pom through a button on the inside that I put in there. So I used the end from the like cinching the top of the hat together to tie the button on, and then because my threads on my actual pom-pom were quite short, I just knotted it like triple on the underside of the button. So hopefully it's in there pretty good. I mean, it feels like it is. So fingers crossed I don't lose it. But I absolutely love it. It's a great pattern. It knits up super quick. There is twisted stitches in it, like twisted rib stitches. But I don't know. I think it's because it's a worsted hat, but she has it knitted at a little bit of a looser gauge, so it does go really quick, which is fantastic. I'm pretty sure the brim was on like a 8mm, and then I think the top was on a 9mm, whatever a US 10 is, something like that. But that's lovely. And this I also entered into the Harvest Hat Cow, which is going on until the 15th of November. My next FO, because I guess these ones were on longer, so are my Haunted socks. I don't think I had these finished last time. Don't quote me on it, but yay. So the stripy yarn is Cozy Knitter Bliss Base, and it is her Haunted colorway, which I really, really like. Very Halloween-y. Love it. The heel and toe is the Fawn and the Fox. It is a BFL base, but it's not her BFL base that she has in store. I think it was the original one that she tried out, and she sent me a little mini of it in the Nazgul colorway, which is this really awesome green. But I think this in like a fingering weight cardigan would just be stunning. So yeah, that is that. The pattern that I did is the Gravel pattern by Mina Phillip. So it's all just knits and purls, done in the way she's written it up, obviously. And it creates these like diamond kind of, to me it looks kind of like diamond quilting. I love it. It is so cushy and squishy. I absolutely love it. And there's a little bit better close-up of that green. It's just stunning. I did a fish lip kiss heel because I like them. They fit my foot quite well. The other one is here. It's done as well. So, and this ended up being my 13th pair this year into my box of socks. So that's quite exciting. And that I entered into Laura's Halloween cow, which is going until Friday, because Friday is I think it's the last day. Maybe Halloween is actually the last day. That might be, put any corrections up there. But I also did a second pair of socks for that, which, crazy. So this is, I'll show them on here first. So this is a crazy pair of socks. They're just little shorty socks because I do enjoy wearing short socks, and I still have about half of a skein left. I think this pair of socks weighs, I don't know how much it weighs, but the skein I have left is like 62 grams or 60 grams left of yarn. So it didn't take much at all. The pattern is Nettie by Amy Miller, and it's part of her Ready to Knit, and also I believe like a sock along, something like that. She came out with an ebook. I didn't get the ebook, but I just bought this one because I really fell in love with it, and I will for sure 100% knit it again. The yarn I used is Kaleidoscope, that focus, yep, that was, is Kaleidoscope Dye Works in her, I believe it's an 80/20 sock base. Kind of her everlasting shawl and sock, I think, in the Bonfire colorway, which I had no idea how it was going to knit out, but I absolutely love it. So around the cuff it ended up being kind of very, like every other row was black, and then you get like the variegated kind of speckly effect. The heel turned out really, ooh, that's thrown off the color. Turned out really great, and then throughout the whole foot it ends up still striping, and then you get more of just that like one row in through the toe. So this pattern is actually a cabled pattern. I don't know how well you're going to see this, but there, that seems okay. So it's cabled. These cables are all running this direction. And on this one I did them, that's a little skinny to show you. There we go. So they're running opposite. I love it. Absolutely love them. They look kind of nice as a pair of mitts if they had thumbs, but they're, again, super cushy. They're super cozy. I really enjoy them. I will be knitting them again in like a solid, semi-solid tonal kind of colorway, just because the cables will actually pop a little bit more. And if you're going to cable the whole front of a sock, why not show it off, right? Alright, so those are my foes for the week. Or actually, what's off the tips? Because I keep forgetting to mention my segment names. What am I working on now? So I do have my green cabley sweater still on the needles. It is slow going, you guys. Partially, I don't know. It's just taking forever. So this is my walnut and lavender cardigan, and the pattern is walnut. Yeah. So I've gotten a fair amount done, but I still have a lot of work to do on it. I'm knitting it out of Barocco Vintage in the worsted weight. Just gonna stop and start. Alright, so it's the Barocco Vintage in, there's gonna be my hair and cat hair all over this just because it's been hanging around for a while, in the Tide Pool colorway. And there is some really tealy kind of strands and then like really, I don't know, turquoisey kind of strands. More of a mix of a blue and a green together, which gives it a lot of kind of subtle variance. I really like it. It is super soft. The sweater's been shoved in and out of this bag, in multiple bags, quite a bit, and it's not even, I mean, it's still looking pretty pristine. And I'm not trying to be overly careful with it or anything. So I think it's going to be a good sweater. I think it'll show its stitches for a while. I don't think I'll get too much crazy pilling on it, but I do love it. I do want it to be finished, but I'll talk about that in a bit. So we'll shove this back in its home. What else am I working on? Oh, just one more thing. So in this lovely bag of mine, I am working on a hitchhiker shawl, which I have just cast on the other day. And it is now, let me count here for a second. Alright, so it is like this. Ta-da! So it's getting there. I've got 33 points on this thing done already. And it's my third day of working on it, I think. Not too shabby. Maybe it's my fourth day today. I don't know. Whatever it is, it's not taking me long at all. I love the way my yarn is knitting up. The yarn I'm using for this is Haven Yarns, or Haven Fiber Arts, I think is what she's changed her name to now. In the Bumbleberry colorway. On her, a sparkle sock base. You can see some of it kind of glimmering and shimmering. I've got some Serena Nicole stitch markers on here. So there's a maple leaf. That was day 1's progress. This was day 2's progress, which is the moose, which I love. Kind of looks more like an elk, but whatever. Antlered animal. So yeah, I really like it. It's kind of fun. Oops. It's really fun to watch the colors kind of play out and see how they're gonna do it. There's a little bit of like pooling in a few areas. I don't mind it at all. Here was a really big chunk of it. Everything kind of kept lining up for a chunk, but you know what? Whatever. I love it. It's gonna be really pretty to wear, which I'll get to wear it soon enough, but I really Really, really like it. So I think this base is a no, just gonna start off with lies. I believe it is an 80, it's like an 84 superwash merino with a 16% stellina. I'm gonna zoom into that again. I want you to see, oh, the sparkle. And it's gold stellina in here. It is so much fun. So this is all I have left. And I'm just gonna knit until this is gone. And hopefully have enough for a decent bind off. Because I really would hate to kind of have to rip back and fudge it a little bit. But that's what I'm working on. What I'm going to work on is my timber cardigan. Because this morning I got up early-ish and met up with my friend Trish, who has knit the timber cardigan already. And she let me try hers on. That's super blurry, but there it is. So I'm gonna the exact same size and have one of my own. Because I really wasn't sure of what size to knit. I mean, I've looked at the measurements, blah, 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 all that good stuff. But sometimes it just really pays to try one on and see how it feels and see how it fits. So I'm excited. It was super cozy. She knit hers out of Quince & Co. Owl, I believe. So it's a worsted weight yarn. I am using the Humming Bee yarn that I picked up at Knit City in this lovely natural colorway. I think it's gonna be great because I can wear it with everything. Maybe not with like a black t-shirt underneath, but I love it. And it smells so fantastic. So I've only caked up the one skein, which I definitely purchased more than I needed. So this is 200 meters, which gives me, I don't know, 200 and something yards, which is great. Because if I want to make the sweater a little bit longer, I shouldn't have to worry about yardage for that. But this cake seems really big. I love it. Love it, love it. So, I have a plan. For every, so I'm going to swatch today, obviously, because get that started. So there's this cardigan. The one on the front as well. I'm sure everybody's seen it because it's been super popular. I think it was kind of like the sweater at Knit City. So my plan is swatch, maybe even cast on depending on kind of how that dries and washes and gives me gauge and all that stuff. And then for every bit that I accomplish with my timber cardigan, I'm going to try and match on my walnut and lavender cardigan so that it gets done. I only have a few more inches, I think, maybe 4 to do on the body and then the ribbing on the walnut cardigan. I'd really like to get that body finished because the sleeves will go faster once I get past the arm cap, shoulder cap, which I have no idea how it's done because I haven't read quite that far in the pattern. But I'm hoping, you know, if I do an inch on my timber, I can do an inch or at least a full 16 row repeat on my walnut cardigan because I need to get it done. I want to get it done. It will actually be a nice sweater to have in the colder months. Not that it gets super cold here in Vancouver, but it'll be really nice. So I'm super excited to get a little more motivation to finish that one because it's been sitting for longer than I'd like to admit, which is fine. So that's a future knit. What else do I have? I have some acquisitions. Yeah, I do. So clang, I did a pre-order for a bag and it came Monday of this week, I think. Today is Thursday. So it came this week. It is a Lone Larch bag, Lone Larch Designs bag, which is made by Jenny. And it is the winter version of her Mount Revelstoke bag, which I also have kind of like the summery spring one. I love it. She's changed her interfacing a little bit in these ones, so it's a little bit thicker, which is really nice, and I think it kind of goes well with like the whole wintry thing. Winter is cozy, things are more, you know, you want to kind of be that cozy, comfy. This is a cozy, comfy bag for my project. It's perfect. And she also has a lovely little, I don't know, let's call it a faux suede thing. It could be, I don't know, my sniffer's kind of broken. With a lovely little leaf charm on it. Super pretty. I love that detail. Her tag. I love it. Absolutely love it. Love it. And on the inside, haha! It is like metallic-y little shimmery polka dotties, which perfect for winter, because when, you know, like when there's like a field of covered with snow and the sun hits it as you're either driving by or walking by, and it just shimmers. It sparkles. That is this. So my beginnings of my timber cardigan will live in here, which is fantastic. I also, I guess it was last weekend, I went and hung out with my friend Laura at Bad Anna's because she was working and I needed to pick up some needles, which I did. They're needles. I'm not going to show them. But I bought a set of DPNs in a 3.25 millimeter because I don't have them and I need them. There's patterns that have been calling for that size and I just don't have them. So I think for some hats and things, and possibly stuffies as well. And I also bought a set of the carbon DPNs in the 2.0 millimeter because I've been knitting more socks on 2.0s. And I bought a 16-inch hat circular carbons needle in the 8 millimeter because I needed one, didn't have one. I also ended up coming home with some yarn. I did. So let me show you the goodies I brought home. I went in there not really expecting to come home with yarn. It wasn't really my plan. Needles were coming home with me. I needed needles. So to come home with yarn was a bit of a shock. Kind of, not really. But these two skeins were on sale. And they are Sweet Georgia. I know. What am I doing? Sweet Georgia Superwash Sport, which I picked up a few of these from their studio on discount as well. So these two colors I've always really liked. This one is just birch, a nice neutral kind of creamy, super nice. I'm gonna zoom this in. So birch, just a nice, can go with anything. And then this one is mink, I believe. Yep, mink. So it's kind of purpley. It's very purpley, but it also kind of looks, camera there, it kind of looked like it was picking up more brown, but it's definitely like a purpley, maybe it's a purple brown. I don't know. But I do love it. So not only do they look great on their own, they look great, really great together. So they might turn into something together, but they also very well might not. Not entirely sure, but it might have to happen. That would be pretty hacked. The passerine hat in this, I know the passerine hat calls for sport. Nope, calls for fingering, but I mean, I don't know, fingering sport, is there a huge difference? I don't think so. Not enough of one to make me worried. Famous last words, but I do love it, and it's a weight that I want to get more familiar with, only because I have a ton of fingering in my stash, so branching out and getting some on discount is never a bad idea. And then one other skein came home with me, which is from Ancient Fiber Arts, Ancient Arts Yarns. I get so confused with their name, but this is their Passion 8, which is their 8-ply cable heavy fingering / sport yarn, sport weight yarn. So it's an 80/20 superwash merino nylon in the Russian silver blue colorway. Super pretty. So a few episodes back, when I had come back from visiting my cousin and her parents for her graduation back in June, so it's actually a while now, I picked up some spin cycle yarns, dyed in the wool in the nostalgia colorway, I think, and this is gonna go with that, and it's going to be a pine bow, that cowl. So it's gonna look super lovely. I had 3 different colors, I believe, on the table in the store, and this one just made the purple pop. I could have easily gone with kind of like a light gray. I could have easily gone with more of a blue. I think there's like a darker kind of blue. This one's kind of bluey silver gray. And there was a darker one, and it was kind of dull. So this one being beside the purple, maybe I'll put in a photo. I don't have it on the couch, I didn't get it out. But this will happen, and I think I'm gonna really enjoy it. I think that pattern originally calls for worsted, but the store that I was at, which is Bad Anna's, had done kits for it using this plus the spin cycle, so that kind of gave me like, oh, that would be really special. So that's happening. What else is there? Kind of a short episode this week. I don't think it should be super long. I got my month 2 of the Gilmore Girls Yarn Club subscription through the Stress Knits Yarns, which is also, I guess, also through the Stress Knits podcast in a sense, because it's all Stacey Elstone. So this one came. If you haven't received yours yet, I'd be shocked. Mine took a little while because shipping from the US to Canada is kind of lame, and I don't know what's going on with my post office, but they've been super slow. So look away if you don't want to see. If you want to see, here it is. So this is on her favorite sock. No, it's not. It's on her squishy sock base, which is her 80/20 base, which is her favorite sock base. She loves the 80/20s, and she is Stacey. There we go. Slip that out of there. And this is called A World of Books. I love it. It is, I lied. This is not the 80/20. This is the 80/10/10. Hence squishy sock. Oh my god, you guys. It's being a little blown out, maybe. It's, I don't know. It's beautiful. Absolutely stunning. There's a lot of these kind of light spots, but there is dye on there. It's a very, very pale yellow. And then there's warmer yellows and some kind of burgundy-ish red, but purple, and there's blues. I love it. I really do love it. It's going to be a really nice something. I'm waiting again to see what all 3 months are before I make any decisions with them, because it's just, it's so nice. I really, really like it. And I am super excited for kind of like the revamp, A Year in the Life of the Gilmore Girls to come out. I cannot wait. I am, I think either a third or a quarter, third of the way through season 7 already. I am loving every minute of it. I cannot wait to see what happens when they come out with a new episode. So, so excited. I have tried to get into Luke Cage. It's not happening. It's slow for me, I guess. But I've also found a Justin Timberlake concert on Netflix. Yup. Big fan. Big fan. I wasn't the biggest NSYNC fan. As a teenage girl growing up, they weren't quite my group. Backstreet Boys for life. But I love me some JT solo stuff. Oh yeah. So I've been kind of intermittently watching that concert because I just watch a bit at a time to make it last a little longer, I guess. What else has been going on? Not a whole lot. I'm gonna swatch today, swatch tomorrow, today. And then hopefully get that washed and blocked so that it's dry for tomorrow. Sounds like a good idea. I am really looking forward to clearing off my needles. Not that I have a lot going on. I have a pair, no, I don't even have a pair of socks on the needles right now. That might change soon, really soon. But clearing off that sweater that's just been sitting around for way too long needs to get off the needles. I'm also considering starting a pie shawl. I'm just in the midst of really trying to figure out what yarn I'm using. I have the pattern. I'll talk more about that when I've actually kind of swatched and started it probably. Because Eric of the Sticks Plus Twine podcast is starting a pie shawl cow. I think he's calling it the Everybody Loves Pie cow. I think that's what it is. Really excited for that. I've wanted to knit a pie shawl for a while now. There's another pattern that I'm considering, so we'll see. It just kind of depends on what I feel like doing. Really what it comes down to. I also want, I think I want to get my Christmas yarns out and do 2 pairs of Christmas socks this year. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I really enjoyed doing and following along with Danny of the Little Bobbins podcast. Her, her Christmas Eve cast on. There we go, sock cast on. Which is just lovely. It's lovely and inspiring, which is dangerous, but awesome. So I'm looking forward to doing that again. And last year I knit my pair of socks before January 1st, so they were done within the week, so they can count this year again into my box of socks if they're done before New Year's, which is great. So that will, if I only knit 2 more pairs, I'll be up to 16, which is kind of awesome. 16 socks in 2016. I have watched a few new podcasts. There is Knit Night with Mika. I can't remember exactly what she's calling it. It took me a while to find it on YouTube just because, I don't know, I think my spelling's atrocious. But that being said, let's pull her up. Yeah, Knit Night. It's either Knit Night with Mika Mika or Knit Night with Shamika. The hostess is Shamika, and she has the Mika Mika shop on Etsy. I met her on a virtual knit night before Rhinebeck, which was exciting. She was frantically knitting away on her Rhinebeck sweater. And I think we had that knit night on the Saturday before, and I think it was that Saturday that she had restarted the sweater again. It was amazing. The sweater is beautiful. She was featured on the Eye Candy of Rhinebeck kind of page on Ravelry, which was amazing. Beautiful colorwork sweater. I'd consider knitting it. I would. It is beautiful. It's a fingering weight sweater. They take a bit of commitment. However, she knit hers in like 8 or 7 days. Crazy. That's a lot. That's a lot of work. A lot of work. I don't even know if I was able to finish her episode. She's only got 1 episode out yet now. She's a pleasure. She's a pleasure to listen to. She's got a lot of knitting experience. And she makes some great stuff. So go check her out. She's really fun. Who else have I started to watch? So many. I've tuned in to the Knitted Towel a few times. I'm trying to catch up on her episodes, which, forgive me, I've forgotten your name. Horrible with names lately. And there's also been that the main 2. It might be. Let me just check this quick. Anybody else hate the new update for the iPhone? I hate it. I can't stand it. Not a fan. I wasn't very great at using my iPhone prior to the update, but now I feel like even more of a noob. So, okay, so I'm gonna do a real sign off. So thank you so much for joining me today for episode 26 of the My 2 Tips podcast. Sorry that this is wobbly, but I'm holding my camera, so it's a little heavy. Ugh. But that's okay. Should be pretty quick. Thank you so much for watching. There's been a few new subscribers as well, so hello, welcome. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. You guys can find me on all the things, I guess. No. How will we say it? You guys can find me on Ravelry as E. Garnier. I like that. You guys can find me on Instagram as E_Garnier. I like that. And we have a group on Ravelry for stuff related to the podcast. Not super chatty over there, but feel free to join. It's a great way to participate in anything that we do kind of host through the podcast here. And that's the My 2 Tips podcast group. I think that's it. Thank you again so much for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye guys.